Hi everyone, it's Desiree. I hope you are all doing well. Absolutely, that is first, foremost. We are still playing around. Again, just getting a better feel for the BettePress. However, I will be switching over to a voiceover because, you know, my last couple videos are really, really long. So, yeah. I've got here, this is a new release. These are the Copperplate. So Copperplate refers to the type of font that this is. And I have a thank you and I have a miss you. And then these are the two sides or sizes. So nice big scripty font for the center of the card. I dug into my stash for some floral dies. I know it's not even still around, but I just love this. And I had some extra die cuts in this little pot that I have, so I dug those out. I'm going to use those for each of these just to decorate, just to show that you can BettePress and add die cuts around it to accent the sentiment. I think, and I'm one of these people, absolutely, we pigeonhole ourselves to say, okay, here's the sentiment. What else can we do? We can add layers. We can add collages around this. We can add a die cut frame that goes around this. So there's a lot of things that we can do. Yes, a lot of those things I mentioned you would need a die cut, except for collaging. We can collage, you know, different pieces of pattern paper around these. So sometimes we get stuck to, okay, here's the product. What can I do? We have a stash. Dig into the stash and let's add to it to expand what this sentiment can do. So the miss you, I'm going to do on the BettePress. You'll watch me how I do that. Watch me put the flowers together. Boom, we're going to have a card. For the thank you, I'm going to try the foiling. I have really been seeing that we can foil with these. A lot of you commented in my very first video that yes, they foil beautifully. So I want to see that. I cannot wait to see that. I'm going to use Aura for the foiling. So this is going to be a very metallic feel, just to see what that does. And the cardstock, I'm going to change up the cardstock that I'm using. I'm not going to use a 100% cotton weight. For both of these, I am going to use... awkward pause. There we go. I'm going to use my mixed media Strathmore. I have one in toned gray for the Miss You, and I'm just going to use black actual cardstock, 110 Recollections for the foiling. So here on the BettePress, I'm going to try this. Now, this is 184 pounds. So it's thicker than that 140 pound, 100% cotton. So I'm very curious to see what type of an impression we're going to get with that. All right. So I'm going to start off with the Miss You. We're going to get that one together. I'm going to take care of putting the die cuts together off camera. So you're just going to see the BettePress action, and then you're going to see the glimmering action and then putting the cards together. Okay? So sit back, grab your favorite beverage, whatever that may be, or craft along with me, and let's get to it. We are going to start off here with the Copperplate Miss You. I'm setting my plate down onto the platform for the BettePress LetterPress system. And I'm going to put it in the center of that grid. Now remember, I have a piece of clear film. It's not acetate. It is a clear film. And what I'm going to do, because I wanted a certain size piece of the paper that I'm using, my Strathmore Mixed Media, I'm just putting little tiny marks along each side so that I know where to place my paper so that I can get this centered. For me, I do this because it then avoids me having to cut down the piece of cardstock and wasting, because then I'll have all of these strips, and I don't want that to happen. When I place my plate down, I make sure the sticky side of my tape is facing up to the clear plate, and I make sure I put it on gingerly, because it can shift, because those magnets are very strong, which is awesome. And then I press down. Now I know my paper's on my clear plate. I'm using the mulberry. I love this color for the ink, the BettePress ink. And when I remove, I have this beautiful impression. So this paper works very well because it's thick. You want to make sure that you're using a thick cardstock, and you can see just how well that embossed into that piece. Now, that also told me too, so makes me think, if we go too thick with the paper, will it just emboss, or could it possibly tear the paper and cut the paper? So just something to think about. So something I'll be looking out for. So now that we have our Miss You done with the BettePress, now I'm moving over to the thank you, and I want to foil with this. Many of you have told me, many people have told me that, hey, you can foil with these plates. So I pulled out just a regular piece of black cardstock. This is 110 Recollections. And I'm using the Aura foil color from Spellbinders. I have my foil machine, my glimmer machine heating up there. I've got my piece in there. I've hit the button. I'm waiting for it to tell me it's ready. I run it through my Platinum 6 die cutting machine. And I do take a couple passes. And now I'm going to remove this plate carefully. And it's a beautiful image. It's an absolutely beautiful image. And it's embossed as well. But it came out perfectly. So, yay. Absolutely gorgeous. So now I'm just going to take some double-sided tape. I'll be using that for my panels, for my cards, and we're going to get our cards all put together here. I'm removing the release paper, and the black panel is going to be set on a piece of gold metallic cardstock, gold mirror cardstock, excuse me. And then I'm going to layer this onto my standard A2 size card base. And it will be a top folding card base. And we're just going to have that lined up there. And we're going to do the same thing with the Miss You, the Copperplate Miss You. So this has a gray background. I'm putting it onto a piece of black cardstock. And again, because I want it to sit up. So this is not a perfect fit, but up at the top that it is, it almost looks like a Polaroid type of feel to that layout. Going to get this also onto our standard A2 size card base, and we're going to set this on an angle. For those of you that know, I love things that are wonky. I like the 90 degrees too, but I do lean towards wonky. So I just wanted to do that. And the other reason why I did that was because my Miss You was a little bit crooked. I did have it sitting there just a little bit crooked on the platform, which is fine. These are the flowers, and I'm using the same die for each of them. I dug into my stash, and I love this set. It's simply called Daisy. And I just layered them up. I had a lot of these. I have a container that's just filled with extra die cuts because, I just don't die cut once. I do multiple die cuts because I never know, especially for florals, how many I'm going to use. I know it's going to be an odd number, but I just never know how many I'm going to end up. So I always have some extras. So I found those, and then I did die cut a few more just in case. Placing the leaves around. I do have, I did not change the shade of the leaves. I'm using all the same. And for this one, I'm just adding the flowers down below. And getting those set. I'm using my ball stylus to push them down because I don't want to lose the dimension of all of these flowers. Some flowers I just used the cardstock for the centers. Others I used pearls or gems to add a little bit of interest. And now we're just going to add the leaves. And this is what I love to do with large sentiments. I think large sentiments have so many possibilities. They can give you a beautiful result in no time. You could have an ink smushed background and you just put one of these large sentiments on top. Boom, card done. Or you can add florals. You can, like I said before, collage around them. Cut it down to a shape and add your layers. So while your big, large sentiments take up a lot of real estate, there's a lot that you can add to them. And even when they get bigger, you could add just one flower or a few flowers or butterflies. It's endless possibilities there. So there are the two cards, and just by changing the color of the daisies, you have two different looks that are going on. So I hope you enjoyed this. Again, I'm still playing with the BettePress, seeing how far I can push it and see what we can get from it. Love the fact, though, that you can glimmer with these plates. So it just stretches it even further for you. Just remember, your glimmer plates cannot go into the BettePress system. Just remember that. At least that's what's going to go in my mind. All right. All the products that I used will be listed down below, and if you have any questions, please never hesitate to reach out, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Make sure you subscribe, hit that thumbs up, ring the bell for notification. Thank you so much for taking this little bit of time and spending it with me for this project. I hope you enjoyed it, but most of all, enjoy the process. Have fun creating, get your ideas together, and just run with them. It's paper. It's got two sides, and we can do anything with it. And know that you're creating art with however you're using this wonderful medium. Most of all, always remember, be creative every day in everything that you do, and I will talk to you soon. Till then.